Good day and welcome back to the Math Salon by Dr. Anumende. So we continue with solving problems on permutations and combination. So the question now says, a mother, father and 5 children are invited to a church celebration and have been reserved the front bench with a 7-person capacity. In how many ways can this family be seated? I actually put some, I underlined seated because that has to do with permutation. There's a keyword that tells you we're talking here about permutation. There are some conditions around that. Let's look at the conditions because we always start from the conditions. A, on the bench, if A, parents must sit adjacent to each other. B, parents must sit adjacent to each other but at one end of the bench. So let's see A. When you have problems that require that some people must sit beside each other or things like that, it's important to use that group as one entity. So we will keep the mother and father as one. So instead of 7 positions, we'll look at them as 6, where father and mother are always together. That means we also say that instead of the 7 seats, we are going to say there are 6 seats, where 2 seats are always reserved for the mom and the father. So we will use our technique of permutation that we learned. We draw 6 boxes. So now instead of 7, we have 6 because the mom and dad will always be together. So the first ones you choose here, there are 6 possibilities. It could be the mom and dad or any of the kids. So we have 6 here because mom and dad have been bunched together as one. And we do that because we are forced to keep them adjacent to each other. If we do that, then this is 6 factorial. 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 6 factorial. If you remember that well, forgot, that is actually the idea here. This is 6 factorial. However, mom and the mother and the father together can be made in 2 possibilities. Either the father is first, the mom follows, or the mom first, the father follows. So there are 2 possible permutations of mom and dad. Either the mom sits first and the father follows, or the father first and the mother. So we have to multiply this. The number of ways there will be 6 factorial times 2. Times 2. So what we do is first, we insist mom is first and father follows. And we do all what we do, we come with 6 factorial. And we say, okay, mom first and father will get another 6 factorial. That's why we multiply by 2. Actually, we are multiplying by 2 factorial because this the number of ways you can permute 2 letters is 2 factorial. So if there were 3 there, then we'll have to think about 3 factorial. B. Parents must sit adjacent to each other, but at the end of the bench. In this situation, we didn't care where the parents sat. It could be in the middle, it could be at the edge, and so. So it means this number will be smaller than this. We need a subset of the number of the ways that we arranged here. So what do we do? There are 2 possibilities. A bench has 2 ends. So either the parents sit at this one, or they sit this way. It's the same idea, but the difference now is this position cannot be occupied by the kids like we saw the last time where there were 6 possibilities there. Only the parents can do that here. And because they are considered as one entity, there's only one way that can be filled. Once this is occupied, the kids can now fill the remaining 5 spaces on the bench. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is 5 here multiplied by 5 factorial. We of course already agreed that the mom and dad can also sit in 2 different ways. Even though they are the edge of the bench, the mom can be first the father, or the father and dad. So this we have to multiply by 2. Would be 5 factorial times 2. Or the number here is the same thing. This will be occupied only by one way here, and the kids can occupy the rest. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 5 factorial times 1. And again, this will be here because the parents, again, they can actually permute their positions. That is 5 factorial times 2. Because this is an OR, then that will be 5 factorial times 2 plus 5 factorial times 2. And that's actually 4 times 5 factorial. So the number of ways in which we can arrange this family sitting with the parents at the end of the bench. Consider they always have to sit adjacent to each other. Is this or this? And when the parents sit, they can also change their positions of sitting. And there are only two of them. So there are two ways they can do that. So we'll remember to multiply this by 2 to get all the possibilities. Hope you did understood. Remember to subscribe, share with your friends, watch in groups. It can be nice to discuss after one video. Have a nice day. Bye.